Thank you for tuning into Tanaka TV, the best and future biggest fight channel on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like, that comment, that subscribe button. We're trying to get this channel to over 1K subscribers by the end of the year. And I'm confident we can do that. But this channel cannot do that without your support. So please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I appreciate everyone who supports this channel and everyone who will support this channel in the future. Now, sorry for my my absence, people. I'm just gonna put it this way. This last week and a half or so has been absolutely crazy for me. I was in the middle of moving, and my mother, shout out to my mom, who came to visit me here in Japan, which is a very, very far distance, people, from where she came from. She came from the East Coast of America, okay? We're talking about a 16 to 18 hour flight. Some of you know what that's like, especially because my mom is not a flying type of person. She's not a person who enjoys flying, okay? So for her to come out here and to visit me was a huge deal, and I needed to give all of my attention and all of my energy to that. So bear with me, people, but we're back. We're back. Like I said, look, I'm in a new spot, okay? So I'm gonna try to put up some nice YouTube decorations in the back and things like that. I am still in the process of moving, so again, bear with me, and we're gonna get right into it. Today we're gonna talk about Chimaev versus Robert Whittaker. Now, when I first saw this, it was a very intriguing matchup, and this is something that I wish could have formed in the prime of Robert Whittaker's career. Robert Whittaker, he is, as many of you know, he is a former champion, and he reigned for a little bit. He reigned for a good amount of time. Now, if we're talking about his last fights, he fought against Paulo Costa, which was a great performance by Robert Whittaker. And he fought against Duplessis, which he lost in. And he got knocked out by Duplessis, and he won against Marvin Vettori. So I'm not saying that you know, time has passed Robert Whittaker. All I'm saying is I think his prime time has passed, and I would have liked to have seen this matchup within Robert Whittaker's, you know, prime when it came to his martial arts career. Now he's going up against somebody who is Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat has been a killer ever since he entered into the UFC. He has made himself known. Now, within his last 4 fights, he has gone up against, we'll say his last 3 fights, he's gone up against a Kamaru Usman. He won. He went up against Kevin Holland. He won. And he went up against Gilbert Burns. He won. Khamzat is 13-0, people. And so he's at this point where I'll put it this way. He's been asking for a title shot almost since he got into the UFC. But he's getting into a point to where that ask for a title shot may become valid, especially after he beats Kamaru Usman, and especially if he beats Robert Whittaker. Now, if you look at Khamzat's last fights, they were very solid performances, great performances. When he went up against Gilbert Burns, he had that war up against Gilbert Burns, and it was honestly one of my favorite fights of Khamzat Chimaev's. It really showed the dog in Khamzat. It really showed what kind of heart he has, and that's a very important thing, as you may know, when it comes to a fighter. One of the more important things in my mind, because you can have a great fight. You can have a contest where, you know, you go in and you starch a guy and you just go on about your day. But that doesn't show what a fighter can completely be, because there are a lot of things that come on the other side when you're tested. Do you have a chin? Can you take shots? Are you okay getting into that war type of situation? Because as a champion, you are bound to get into those kinds of situations, and you're going to get tested. So being tested before you even get into that sort of fight where you're in a championship fight is a good thing in my mind. And then he steamrolled Kevin Holland. I mean, that fight didn't go past the first round. They didn't even go past like 2 minutes. I don't believe it did. And then he went up against Kamaru Usman, which I think is Khamzat's kind of it's his first fight where it could have really gone either way. And we're talking about a Kamaru Usman. This is a huge compliment to Kamaru Usman. That Kamaru Usman had what? A week, 2 weeks to prepare for this fight. So if that fight was in a different situation and Kamaru had the ability to have a full training camp, we might be singing a different story. But we're talking about Khamzat right now. And his ability to dominate fights. And like I said, now we know that he can be tested. It's a hard matchup for Robert Whittaker, I think. And so going into this matchup, who would I have winning? It's really not much of a thought process for me. I think it would be more of a thought process if, like I said, Robert Whittaker was more in his prime, but he's not. Time beats us all, people. And I think Khamzat is going to win this fight. I think Khamzat is going to dominate for the majority of this fight, to be honest. I think he's going to be aggressive. I think he's going to test Robert Whittaker's stand-up because I think Robert Whittaker, even though he's a solid striker, I think that his striking has a lot of holes in it. He has problems coupling together combinations. Now, he has a great check hook into a roundhouse head kick, typically. And I think that is a great formula against Khamzat. I really do, because Robert Whittaker's head kicks, I think he has one of the most underrated head kicks in the game. It's very fast and snappy, and it's hard to see coming, especially because he likes to hide it behind that hook. He likes to hide it behind that jab, and I think that is going to be a strong key for him to possibly beating Khamzat Chimaev. But I think that is too slim of a route in order to beat Khamzat. I think Khamzat's a very complete fighter. I think that he can beat Robert Whittaker in both stand-up and on the ground. And so that's why I think Khamzat will have the advantage in this fight. Comment down below, people, what you think about this matchup. Do you like this matchup? Who do you think is going to win this matchup? I've got Khamzat. But I won't be surprised if Robert Whittaker really tests what kind of fighter Khamzat is. And after this fight, if Khamzat wins, honestly, for either one of these fighters, don't be surprised if you see a title shot kind of deal going on after. And so that's all I've got for you guys today. Comment down below, like I said, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.